Good morning, class. Welcome to Module 3. I wanted to take this opportunity to spend some time with you just going over where we're currently at in the class, clarify a couple of things I've seen with some of the submissions, and just outline a few things. So first things first, Module 3 is currently open. As a reminder, modules run from Monday to Monday. Your initial discussion board post is due by Thursday of every week. So this module 3 just opened. Your initial post is due by Thursday. Your response or your reply, your 2 replies, must be posted by Monday. So again, I've been a little lenient in the grading if you have not adhered to the deadline, but I do want to supply you with a reminder. Your initial discussion board is due by Thursday. Replies are by Monday. You are replying to 2 students, so you're actually reading your classmates' initial response and replying. Ultimately, I would love to see you engage in a conversation with one another. So maybe if someone posted something and you wanted further explanation or you had an opinion, and then to kind of have that dialogue. The discussion board is designed to serve as a classroom discussion. If we were in a classroom, giving you the opportunity to converse with one another. So please take advantage of that. I do attempt to try to chime in at least once a week. I've been a little behind, so I am going through and I'm still reading some of the initial posts, introductions, trying to respond to each and every one of you with that. So thank you for your patience as I undertake that process. Some things we want to highlight also in the class is I've received a couple of emails and phone calls in regards to the Cengage, the Mind Tap, that is not currently available at the bookstore. I do have a phone call in with the bookstore. I have not received a response. I will follow up with them again to inquire about the steps or procedures I need to take to actually get the bookstore, I'm sorry, to get the code into the bookstore. Sorry, my phone rang. So for those of you who have not taken a class with me, when I do my video, I do not attempt to try to give you this well-polished video. Someone may walk in, I may stumble over my words, the telephone may ring, and I just continue on. Because if we were in class, I would not be able to go back and re-record and resubmit. So I just try to give you the authentic version. So with that, yes, please know if you are one of the students who has not been able to purchase the book through the bookstore because you are an athlete or on a scholarship and you must purchase all books through the bookstore, know that I am working on that. You will not be penalized for late submissions for your quizzes. However, that does not preclude you from continuing to complete your other assignments, such as your discussion boards. The only thing you really do not have access to without the Mind Tap is the required quiz. If you have the book, you still can do your chapter reading book. Your chapter reading. You can still do your discussion boards, which I provide supplemental resources for that. So, although you may not have the Mind Tap, you should not be falling behind in your other assignments outside of your quizzes. So please ensure you are completing those assignments. Some things that when I looked at the ticket out the door that students had questions or concerns that I wanted to spend a few minutes clarifying. One was the crime control model versus the due process model. These are models, and what we look at, we're going to outline kind of like 2, 3, 4 categories when we compare the two. So crime control, the goals of the criminal justice system and the crime control model is one, to deter crime. We do not want crime to happen. We want to protect the citizens from crime. We want to incapacitate criminals, improve and move quick and efficient through the justice system. It hints in this title, crime control. We want to control that crime. So those are the goals. Contrary to the due process model, when we think about due process and our rights, their models are a little different than when we talk about the crime control model. Under the due process model of the due process model, the goal of the criminal justice system is one, to protect the individual. That's our first goal there. And as opposed to incapacitate criminals, we want to actually help to rehabilitate the crimes. So again, crime control, you're trying to control that crime, deter crime. Due process, the goals is you're trying to protect our rights and you're trying to rehabilitate. Then we go down and we look at, well, how can these goals be met? So under crime control, how can we meet the goal of deterring crime and protecting citizens? One is going to say we're going to have more bureaucracy and red tape in the criminal justice institutions, right? We're going to promote discretion. So what does that mean? You have discretion is the power of one or two things, how you would like to execute that. You're going to make it easier for police, law enforcement officials to arrest criminals. Why? Because, again, the ultimate goal is to deter crime. We're going to reduce the legal restriction on proven guilt. So we don't want to impose barriers. We want to hurry up. We want to be able to land this conviction, get that criminal. We want to stop the crime. So those are kind of the goals of how we're going to be able to meet that under crime control. Now we move over to due process. Remember, what did we say the goals are due process? To provide, protect individuals, rehabilitate those convicted. Well, how do we meet those goals? One, we're going to limit state powers, right? We don't want them to have this pure or open discretion. We want to limit their state powers. Provide even guilty offenders with laws allowing those offenders to follow procedures that they were not aware of. So again, we're going back to their rights. It's not so much about a swift punishment. Ultimately, we're trying to rehabilitate and we're trying to protect them. So we're going to look at how can we protect those criminals. We're going to look at and enforce and protect the civil rights of prisoners. So it's not just that, oh, they're a crime and they're a criminal and we're throwing them away. No, under the due process model, we actually want to ensure that we're not infringing on their rights and that we're not violating under their due process. When you look at this crime control and due process, so what does that look like for law enforcement? What would that look like? When you talk about different policies, under crime control, obviously they would want more law enforcement, more jails, more prisons, right? Harsher penalties. That's what they will want as far as what policies are going to look like. Under your due process model, you want to open the criminal justice process, right? You don't want it to be, let's just get law enforcement, let's just get them in. You want to get rid of the death penalty, for example. Limit the powers that when we start talking about search and seizures of criminal suspects. Limit the discretion in the formalized criminal process so that all suspects and convicted offenders can have the same treatment. We don't want to treat people differently. So that hopefully will provide you with some insight when we talked about crime control and due process. Again, crime control, these are different viewpoints on how our criminal justice system should act, or the vision or kind of the goal or the objectives of our criminal justice system. One, the goal is to deter crime, incapacitate them. Another one is we're trying to protect them and we're trying to actually rehabilitate. And we see this in our criminal justice system when you think and look at the different policies that are available and programs that are available to individuals who are currently incarcerated. So should we be concerned with providing and equipping, providing a service and equipping individuals who are incarcerated with skills to help them become productive citizens of society? Or should it be more of a, you did the crime, you did the time? This week in Module 3, we are going to start looking at the elements that make up what must you have to have a crime. We are going to look at actus reus and mens reus. So you have to have actus reus plus mens reus will give you a crime. So what is actus reus? Actus reus is the action of that criminal activity, what you're doing, that actually act. Mens rea is the mentality. So the mentality, what did you have, your mental state when you were carrying that out? Can I charge someone with a crime if they're thinking about killing me, or if they're thinking and they have this entire plan in their head, but they never write it down, they never articulate it? No, right? They didn't have an action. However, if you have a plan that you start to write and converse and share that, then now we have a crime. You have the intent and you have the action, which will fall under conspiracy. So as you're navigating through Module 3, you're going to learn about actus reus, mens reus, and then you're going to look at some strict liability crimes, which say, okay, you don't necessarily need this actus reus and mens rea for strict liability crimes. So that's what you're going to kind of navigate and dive into this week. In Module 3, I have gone ahead and also opened up Module 4. From now on, I'm going to try to open 2 modules at a time, so feel free to work ahead if you would like. I do plan to hold another live chat and chew nightcap, and we will aim for Thursday of this week for our live class. So if you are available, again, it's not mandatory, but it's an opportunity for us to come on and converse in real time, and which I will also have a mini lecture, which we will go over for this material and some other material that you've looked at up until this point. So we will have our mini chat this Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. I look forward to seeing you and meeting you. Hopefully, if you were not able to join our first class, you will be able to join this class. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to call me. Definitely follow up with me. I'm going to follow up with the bookstore again about trying to get that Cengage access code there, and I'll certainly keep you in the loop. Hope you all have a great week. I look forward to seeing you on Thursday.